Hello everybody and welcome to Fujairah. You can see from this shot that the weather is quite hot. Okay, you can tell, but we tell you that it's really hot. It's a bit misty. There's some sun. There's a slight breeze, I would say 4 or 5 knots, not more, so it's not big waves. I'm Emanuele Ferraris di Celle, glad to have all of you with us. And with me there is Rory Power today commenting with me. Rory, just one word, I would say, you've been team manager with both, it was number 7 last year, it's number 3 this year with Nadir Binindi and Arif Al-Zafein, and so you have a lot to say. What are you doing now?
Well, actually, I'm having one of my first weekends off at racing. I've come as a guest with the team because I've been a little bit busy over the winter doing some other things, but I expect to be back with the team for the next race and onwards.
Okay, and the team has been doing well even without you. It means you've done a good job last year. So they did pole position, they won race 1.
That's right, yes. The boats had a lot of work over the winter. As you know, we came into the racing last year very last minute. So even at the first race venue, we were still putting the boat together and making things work and breaking many things. But it came together at the end of last year. The boat performed really well. The team did extremely well with such a new boat. But we've seen a lot of faults over last year that we want to correct. Length of the boat, etc. Really to suit Arif's style of driving.
Okay, so for the moment we're gonna send you a clip with the daily recap of yesterday's race. There's been a big crash and then an exciting race. We'll be back later with Rory and we will explain you all the things behind the scenes and we will comment the race together. Welcome back. This is the second day here in Fujairah for the UIM 2018 XCAT World Championship. We are getting ready into action. As you see, the boats are getting in the water. There's the cranes launching them, and these boats are getting moored to the dock. In some minutes we will have the green flag, and the first race of the season will start. Last season with the 3rd place, you start the season with the 3rd place. It's like you are used to that spot on the podium.
Yeah, and I think actually last year here weren't we 3rd last year as well. Like so, bad luck for Australia and Martin, but you know this is a part of racing. And actually, I think we did a good job. Like we passed a few boats.
It was kind of rough in the beginning, and then it felt like it calmed down. So it was kind of hard to adapt to the scene.
We were set up for flatter water at the start, and then with the incident, it got quite rough, a little bit out, but probably everybody's the same. But yeah, it was good. Good to get second overall. But the whole fleet might tone down a bit after first race of the season, having a crash that early. So.
Before the start, we had a seal leak which mixed the water with oil in the engine. We tried to fix that before the race. I think 20 minutes we were late, but we were able to fix that with mercury. They did a good job. We controlled the race. Our boat was a good setup. Me and my teammate Arif, we did a good start, controlled the race, and as you can see, we finished number 1. I feel sorry for the team Maritimo and the Australian team. I wish them all the success for tomorrow's race. Hopefully they can make it, and wish the success for all the teams tomorrow.
Okay, so this was the clip of yesterday's race. As you have seen, there was this big crash. Then the race was also shortened, not only for the crash, but also because they had to give 3 times the start because the drivers were very nervous, eager to start their first race of the season. Rory, what do you think, considering these images of the crash and of the race?
Well, you can certainly see that it was the first race of the season, and everybody has done so much work over the winter on their boats with these recently new engines, getting everything just right. And you've seen particularly the Australians coming in with fantastic looking piece of kit, and they're all just want to open up and let the boat go. But again, still a bit nervous. The first race of the season, it takes a bit of coming together, and especially off that start run. The drivers do need to have a little bit of settling into the race before they go a little bit crazy with the throttles.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely. You could really tell that yesterday everybody was tense, and of course it's a pity for the 2 Australian teams. I called it the bummer from down under. It's a very good thing that the Team Australia number 8 could make it. You've seen in the clip the damage. It was not a big damage on the corner between the side and the deck. They mended it. You will see today that it has a spot, but it's nothing to see with the structure. And it's a pity that Maritimo boat is out. Okay, Rory, you've not seen the boat, the damage with your very eyes, but you think it's possible to mend the boat after such a crash?
It takes an awful lot to make a boat a write-off. It is always generally repairable to some degree, and particularly when we're talking Maritimo, they have a great building facility back at home in Australia. And they're a fantastic company. They build some magnificent boats. You saw from the quality of Maritimo when it turned up. They're a superb looking boat, and I expect them to be back fairly quick.
I fully agree with you. I've been and rode on some Maritimo boats, leisure boats, and they're really beautifully made. In this moment we see, this is Pasquale Cesana, the operation director, on the XCAT. As all the boats are going out, there is a proper Dubai police boat, as we said yesterday, is the one with the open cockpit and the lights on top. Then again there's another Dubai police boat, which is actually number 3. Is Nadir Binindi and Arif Al-Zafain. They did the pole position and they won race 1, so today they will start in first position. Now all the boats are going out. They will have to follow the XCAT and to stick to the procedure going out. We hope that they're not as tense as yesterday. As for their starting order of today, we stick to the arrival of race 1 yesterday. So Dubai Police, as we said, in first position, Arif Al-Zafain and Nadir Binindi, followed by 222 offshore, Giovanni Carpitella and Darren Nicholson. That's an Australian guy. Okay, we have Maritimo out, but there is an Australian driver on boat number 10. Then number 2, XCAT Racing, Mike Bankston and Derek Stark. Abu Dhabi number 4 with American Sean Torrente and Fale Al-Mansouri. New Star Racing, good result for the Russians yesterday, 5th spot, and they will start in 5th place today, Mikhail Kitashev and Dmitry Vandyshev. Then boat number 46 is Fujairah. You've seen the blue, metallic blue boat with the red sign Fujairah with Diego Testa and Andrea Comello. Abu Dhabi number 5, the brand new MTI boat from Abu Dhabi team, Rashid Al-Tayer, Majid Al-Mansouri. Then Kuwait, Abdulatif Alomani and Mustafa Al-Dashti. Videx with Alfredo Amato and Joachim Kumlin. HPI racing team, François Pinelli and Rosario Schiano, and the one you see on the screen now, you've seen just now, Team Australia. They had the crash yesterday with Maritimo. They were able to mend the boat. You see the spot just above the word team. You see a spot. That's just foam to make it more even, but the damage, how do you say, underneath that has been repaired. We had our naval engineer and architect checking for it. Structurally, it has nothing to see with any kind of trouble, and so at least they can make it. You've been in racing, Rory, for many years. You've been experiencing like working overnight to repair boats. Did it happen?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, unfortunately, yes, I can remember many times. In those days, perhaps we were slightly smaller teams, so I was driver owner as such, and I can remember spending the night repairing a boat and getting out to race the next morning. So you do what has to be done, and I can tell you from the inside of most of these teams, it doesn't matter whether you're a driver or a co-driver, you'll be there at night while the guys are working on it. You need to encourage them, you want them to feel, you want it done so desperately, you're going to stay there with the guys and support them right through the night. And all these teams, they're prepared to move everything to get to this race line.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree with you. I have seen many times drivers working a lot with their mechanics all together, like a real crew. And another thing that I see in XCAT, which I like a lot, is that teams help each other. I remember last year when Team Australia had the crash in the second to last race, pardon. There were so many teams eager to help them, like helping them dismounting things, washing the engines, and so on. This is a good feeling because it's like a big family. Competition, okay, but also brotherhood.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. It's a fantastic team atmosphere when they're all together in the pit area, and they will all do whatever they can to help somebody else come racing. You want to win by racing. You don't want to win in the pits because somebody hasn't got a piece of equipment that may be very small but you have sitting in your truck. No, we want to see everybody out racing, and when you win, you want to win by beating everybody out on the race course. So yeah, they're very helpful to each other. It's a great support group.
And this is exactly the moment when they want to win by racing, and now in this moment they're not thinking about brotherhood, they're just being concentrated, and they have to keep their lines and also their position. It's like a virtual grid, a moving grid, but they have to control on the left and on the right, on the port and the starboard sides, to check that the other boats are in the correct position, because otherwise we would have red flags as we had yesterday. They had a big briefing this morning talking about the starting procedure, and they will have to stick to that. This means keeping pace up to 25-30 knots. And then when they will see the green flag, is full throttle and straight to the buoys and to the gates.
Well, I think we're on the run now. I don't know.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
I haven't seen the green flag, but
yeah, but you can tell by the wakes.
Okay,
we didn't have a communication about the green flag, but it really seems like they are pushing. Yeah, okay, now we got it, we got it. It's green flag from Pasquale Cesana. We hear on the radio, go, and they are full throttle. You see the wakes going up. This means that the propellers are raising a lot of water and air as well. And we have the Dubai police boat on the far bottom of the screen. They will be the first ones to enter the gate and to turn left. I remind you, there's three gates, pardon me, 4 boats in each gate. So they have to split. We will see.
Yeah, the Swedish team has dropped back a little bit there off that start run. Possibly in danger of getting closed down there.
Yeah. Seems a good start from Abu Dhabi number 4. Then we will see them appearing on the left of the screen, but Dubai Police is the first one to turn and to enter the course. You see they're jumping a lot, even if it's not so windy outside, but these boats are really light. And also there's an air lift that make them even lighter, am I right?
That's right. As soon as you get the speed up and the air gets under the tunnel, the boat suddenly feels very weightless.
There is Team Australia on the outside, on the right side of the course, trying to get out of the wakes and trying to overtake. They already overtook 3 boats, Good start for Team Australia as they enter the big right turn of Eco Buoys before the finish line. And we've seen Dubai Police in first spot, they are on the screen now, then 222 offshore to follow. And with a good start, Abu Dhabi number 4 were able to overtake XCAT Racing, and now they should be in third spot.
Yeah, it looks like boat number 3 has already settled down into first place at the moment. They've already pulled out quite a lead. At least they have the advantage now of the clean water, which is a fantastic difference.
Yesterday I was asking to Nadir, okay, it seems to me that the best kind of race for you is to be in the lead and to stay in the lead. He said, yeah, okay, that's easy, but we are also able to gain positions from the very back. We've done so many times.
Actually, you've got one advantage when you're out in front. You've got the clean water. But the other thing, it's very hard to lead from the front all the time. Sometimes it's easier to get into the chase and chase down people and drive hard. But holding the front, sometimes it's psychologically it's quite demanding.
And it's already 1.3 seconds of advantage for Dubai Police over 222 offshore. To follow Abu Dhabi 4, another 3 seconds, and another second for XCAT Racing. These are the top 4. Then New Star keeps the 5th spot, then Abu Dhabi 5 in 6th. Team Australia is already in 7th position, followed by Videx, Fujairah, HPI Racing Team, and the last place Kuwait. It's a pity for Kuwait, they started in 8th spot. They probably had something wrong at the start, and they are closing the pack at the moment. What do you think of the balance and the setup of this boat from this helicopter shot?
Well, I know Arif probably and Nada, they are probably the greatest people at setting up a boat. You know, I've been around when we've been setting a boat up and putting a boat on the water for Arif and Nada, and they can tell you exactly how much weight they want where and exactly where they want the engines, the drives. They know the boats inside and out, and they practice and they practice. You know, and the thing is, it's practice that makes perfect. These guys, they want to test the boat, and test the boat, and get it right. And it shows how well they run. They're very consistent.
Something that I sometimes wonder is, when you see them like dominating a race, it happens. It happened in the past. It happened yesterday. In the end, they won with a good advantage on the second. It's still margin to improve the boat. Where can you find the space to improve the boat when you are already leading and you are?
Well, you know, you see this every year. The lead boat, it kind of runs off for a bit, and then everybody starts to catch up as the season goes on, because one, they've got their propellers right, they've been playing with the bottom of the boat and getting it just right. And there's all sorts of other equations with engine height and distance from the boat, etc., from the transom. And all these are absolutely critical. It's almost like that setup on the back is like the gearbox of a car, getting the ratios right, getting the diameters right and everything. It makes a huge difference. But one of the big advantages that these guys have is they put a lot of time into being in the boat together, working as a team and understanding what exactly each other's doing all the time. And they know each other so well. And you know, especially with these new teams that have come into it, where they're new partners racing, it takes a while to understand, you know, what each other is thinking, how they like to turn the corners, how they like the boat to be set up. And I think that's one of the advantages of a team that stays together. They just know each other so well.
Meanwhile, we ended the second lap. For first 4 boats are the same: Dubai Police 222 offshore, Abu Dhabi 4, and XCAT Racing. We have Abu Dhabi 4 that gained another 2 seconds on XCAT, but Abu Dhabi 5 is trying to catch on XCAT themselves. It's like 2 seconds only, while at the moment Kuwait is going for their first long lap. We remind you, this race consists of 1 start lap, 14 race laps, and 2 long laps. They are allowed to take the 2 long laps whenever they want, except in the first or in the last lap. So Kuwait is the first one to take the long lap. As for Team Australia, we have to keep an eye on them because they have to get back on top. They are in 7th spot now, and they are gaining they are reducing the gap on New Star Racing, which is in 6th spot now. To join us, there's also Riccardo Lacognata. I'm very glad to have him here. He's with UIM, Head of President Office. So Riccardo, first of all, thanks for being here. I give you the mic.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everybody.
So tell us, this championship is promoted by UIM. It's the second year. You're working a lot to make it a great show. What do you think so far?
Well, so far it's been a great show. From the tower control, we saw the start, and it was pretty much thrilling. The people were very excited by all those boats running as fast as hell. And so far so good, I would say.
I would take advantage, Ricardo, of the fact that you are here. I know that you will tell me only what you can tell me and tell us, to all the viewers. What are the plans for the immediate future? And I'm talking about this season.
Well, as you know, we published the calendar, which encompasses officially the 5 races have been confirmed. The first one, starting one here in Fujairah, then there will be further 4 additional races in China. Hopefully, we will have the Grand Prix of Dubai confirmed within the next couple of weeks. I'm confident this is going to happen. And a couple of days ago, we announced, our Chinese promoter announced also the race in Europe, the race in Stresa. We're working hard on this to make it happen, and as well, I'm confident that this is going to happen most likely first or second week of July. We will arrange for that over the next 6-7 days, soon after this is over. But yes, we can confirm that.
So this is a big news. You said about China. I know that you personally have been involved a lot in organizing the races in China. We had 3 beautiful races last year. What do you think of the feedback we had from the country, also considering that this year they want to have 4 races compared to the 3 last year?
Well, I would say personally, the 3 races in 2007, in 2017 we took over the organization and promotion of the XCAT on interim basis. And we're working hard in order to put it on the right track and let it fly again. The 3 races in China last year, well, first of all, it was an occasion for all of us to be personally acquainted with each other closely. And that was good. The feedback from the people there was pretty much exciting and very much promising. So this is the reason why we would like to insist on this. But at the same time, never miss the focus to Europe, and who knows, maybe in the future also North America. The UIM is fully committed 100% in keeping up with an international character of this championship, and we will continue like that.
So thank you so much. I must say, being me just part of the XCAT, we are really glad to have the UIM as a promoter, because we feel the full support. We feel that the championship is increasing a lot. So for the moment, I'd say thank you. Is there anybody in particular you want to thank in this occasion, Ricardo?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you for your tireless efforts and job, which is outstanding and pretty much valuable. And also the whole people here at the organization, Sebastiano, Pasquale, Claudia, Chiara, and forgive me if I missed something, and the commissioners of the UIM, all of them, because without them this could not happen. And last but not least, all the teams which have been committing so far huge efforts, and they believe that this is gonna be more and more successful championship.
Thanks again. Personally, you made me blush, but we don't have a camera in this booth, luckily. And so, you want to join us later if you want, or you want to enjoy the race while we comment. Thank you for being here, for having been here. And as I said again, thank you for all the efforts, and I'll catch with you in a while.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Ricardo.
Back to the race, Rory. Did you see anything peculiar happening? We see
No,
boat
I
jumping
think
a lot.
the gaps are closing. I think a couple of the people I'd expect to be front runners are beginning to push forward a little bit more. Team Australia and XCAT, hoping to see a little bit more of them as they push forward now.
Yeah.
Team Australia, they had a bit of a difficult start, it seems. Got waylaid down that start run and came out for clean water. But unfortunately in this inshore bit they came out a little bit too far and had to back off and get back into the mess. And I think that cost them dearly, and I think that's why they're back where they are at the moment. But they seem to be climbing forward slowly.
Yeah. And is it possible, looking at the images, that there is like some more waves, especially in the offshore part? This circuit is made of two parts. The one which you are seeing now on the screen is like protected by the breakwater, but the other part is more offshore. I've seen the boats jumping quite a lot, so maybe it's increasing because of the wind?
Yeah, certainly out on that outer leg, there's definitely some sea state out there that's getting them moving around. They are having an uncomfortable ride. I'm watching a couple of the boats coming towards us now, and they're getting a little bit of air and getting a bit unstable. But I think they're all big enough to cope with the sea state that they've got at the moment.
And now we're closing the fifth lap with Dubai Police crossing the finish line. 12 minutes of racing so far. 2-2 offshore to follow. Yeah, they are passing now across the line. Then again, this is Team Abu Dhabi number 4. We must say that, let me check, yeah, the top 3 teams haven't taken any long laps yet, while XCAT has already done both of them. That's why they are back in 9th position. Abu Dhabi number 5 is the 4th boat to cross the line. No long laps for them. Then New Star Racing in 5th position.
It's a very difficult time to make the decision to take a long lap, because when you've got somebody behind you, you're worried that if you go out on the long lap, you'll come back in behind them. So you want to try and push and push and push and get enough distance between you so that you can take a long lap and come out ahead of the boat as well.
This is the perfect occasion for me to ask you this. Who is taking the decision of the long laps? Is it the drivers, or is it the radio man? Is it the team manager?
It'll be a combination of the team manager, radio man, and the drivers. The drivers obviously understand the sea state that they're running in, etc., and know how well they can do. They know whether they've got a little bit more, whether they can push a bit harder. But what they don't see is exactly what's going on behind. So you need to be informing the drivers how far behind the other boats are, how many seconds, etc. And generally, it will be a team manager or your time man that will give you the decision to go.
One of the first things I would do, that was in my mind, like if you are trailing and you are very close to a boat that you can't overtake, that's probably one good time to take the long.
It's a good time to go, yeah. If you can't get through that dirty water, then try and make it up in the clean water of the long lap.
Yeah. So far, boat number 3, which is Dubai Police, hasn't taken any long lap. Same for Abu Dhabi 4, while Abu Dhabi 5, which was in 4th spot, has gone for their first long lap. And so they will get back to the course like a bit behind. We still see this boat number 3, Dubai Police, with their new payoff, Smart Secure together. Nadir Binindi told us that they are very proud to carry the name. And this is the first shock. Abu Dhabi number 4, they were in 3rd position. They are retiring now. We don't see the wakes, so we can't tell what the problem is so far. If we could see in the back the engines and the propellers, we could tell you maybe something more. They seem to be running probably with just one engine, because the boat is running.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's probably one engine down.
What a pity
Very
for
sad.
them. They were in 3rd position, Sean Torrente and Fale Al Mansouri. They started 4. They were doing so well. Yeah, we still don't see in the shot.
That's a real shame. And is that the new boat as well? Is this the
This is actually, last year it was boat number 5,
Yeah.
and they moved it. And it's probably the left engine was not working.
That's a real shame. They were running so competitively then.
Yeah. No, that's the old boat, but when we say old, I mean, it means nothing. It's a very good boat. It's also been modified this year. It's just compared to the other one, Abu Dhabi number 5, which is the MTI American-built boat. So it's a shame, yeah, as they get back slowly to the pits. Actually, not to the pits. They will stay, I think, in the middle of the course until the end of the race, not to disturb anyone. So there's no need to raise any yellow flags from Pasquale or from the timing tower.
Well, that's actually opened the door for New Star, the Russian entry, and that's a fantastic opportunity for them to be in the top 3.
Yeah, they've been working so hard, this team. They've been investing a lot of, not only money, but a lot of efforts, a lot of time in improving the boat, improving their skills. This morning they had so many laps in free practice. Let me check.
It's beginning to show. The time they're putting in is bringing them up the field. It's fantastic to see them there.
Yeah, you teach me that working hard pays. Yeah, as you were saying.
Last year, when these guys were new, they were a bit despondent when they were at the back for a while. But they've been learning off all the other teams, taking the best advice, and they've obviously been using it really well.
Yeah, and they know how to race because they've been racing and winning many championships, especially in endurance. It's their second year here in XCAT racing, but we hope they're doing well. You see them on the screen now. Mikhail Ketashev is the driver and Dmitry Vandyshev is the throttle. They are a good crew. As for the boat, as I mentioned yesterday, it recalls the colors of the Russian flag, of course, and the pattern itself, pardon me, I don't remember the word in Russian, I've been told by their team manager, but anyway, it's the typical pattern of ceramic of pottery from a place in Russia. If we have Russian supporters and followers, you can tell us the name, I will be glad to remember. So it's 6 laps for Dubai Police, 17 minutes of racing, 222 Offshore still in second place. 222 Offshore now went for the long lap, so we will see how they come back. We will see, we don't see them yet in front of our eyes, while we have Dubai Police comfortably first. Then New Star didn't go for any long lap yet, and it's at the moment virtually in third position, Abu Dhabi 5. HPI Racing Team climbing up from the last position. Of course, also for them it's no long laps yet. Team Australia now in 6. And this is a good position because team number 8 went already for both the long laps. So we have to keep an eye, as I said before, let's keep an eye on Team Australia because they did already both the long laps. So now it's just racing on the normal circuit for them, and they will climb some more position for sure. Very strong and fighting.
Well, as you know, Team Australia last year proved to be very strong indeed, and if they, apart from a little mishap at the end of the season, they probably would have won the championship. So they were very competitive last year. I suspect that they'll be back at the top this year as well.
That's my feeling as well. Yeah. Last year it was amazing, the fight they had with victory until the end. They were leading the championship until the very last event. Then they had this crash in the second to last race. They've been really unlucky, and so yeah, but probably they would have won. This year also we can't help but mention the void left by Victory Team. They withdrawn from the championship. They went for other adventures. So of course many teams which are strong almost as them and they've been fighting for so many years. They are eager to fill that void and to go on top spots.
Absolutely. I think they've obviously gone to new opportunities elsewhere to race, but I think here it's wide open. But if I was a betting man, I'd probably put something on Dubai Police for this year. I think they look impeccable. The boat looks fantastic, and I think they're the guys for everybody to chase at the moment. But I do see a hard chase. There's some good guys out there.
Yeah, sure. Meanwhile, you see on the screen this fight between Videx 22 on the right of your screen and Kuwait number 17. You've seen them jumping a lot. It means they are trying to find the top speed, which means like going borderline with the...
That's right, yes. You trim up those engines a bit to get the last bit of power out of them into the water, but the boat does get a little bit loose at that time.
Yeah,
so
what's the risk? You gain a bit more speed, but what's the risk?
Yes, you gain more risk, but if you open up that tunnel just that bit too much, then you're in danger of putting the boat over.
Because you get there, push into the bottom of the boat, and you can even
get some air under there way
yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
But it's a race. You've got to keep going, and when you've got the controls in your hand and a boat next to you, it's very difficult to think sensibly and just keep the boat at an even trim.
Rory, we know that in the cockpit, we all know one is the driver keeping the helm, and one is the throttleman commanding the engines.
Yeah.
What about the trims, which is, I remind for the viewers who don't know, is like the inclination of the engines toward the surface of the water. It means having the nose of the boat up or down.
If you trim the engines up, you see more rooster here, you'll be lifting the bow of the boat. When you trim them back down, you'll drop the bow of the boat.
And who's the guy who controls the trims normally?
Now generally it will be the throttle guy. He'll have control of the throttles and the trims. And
So if I can imagine figure him in the cockpit, he has one hand on the two levers of the throttles
correct,
and one
yeah.
hand on two levers of the trims.
yeah, that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
Now, one of the things that this is why it's such a good thing to have a great team together, and it takes two to make it work, and you have to understand each other so well, and that's when you see new guys come along. They're just not quite getting it together enough, because you've got to drive as one, even though you're a pair.
That's why, yeah, you need a lot of practice. We've seen some teams taking so many laps in free practice runs because they have to also to get the feeling together. I always stress this fact, like Arif told me once, and you already know better than anybody else. They told me we are two drivers and one brain. That explains
That's
perfectly.
pretty much it, exactly that. Now, when you're in control of this boat, if you over trim it either way, just a fraction too much, you will drag speed off the boat. You'll get it slightly out of shape. And what you see every time somebody does that is the boat in front is just pulling away, pulling away, pulling away every time you make mistakes. You know, this boat racing is about consistency and even lap times being as close as they can every single lap. Again, you'll see on some of the turns sometimes, you see the guys that race together regularly, they've got such good lines around the turns every single time they go around. But when you get a new partnership in and they're not quite sure on how much throttle to give the driver and things, they take different lines, they're slightly longer, you know, on a turn than they should be, etc. So it takes a while of driving together to get it exactly right.
And at the moment you see 222 offshore on the screen, Giovanni Carpitella and Darren Nicholson. They got their 2 long laps, so at the moment, while Dubai Police in first position got only 1, at the moment 222 offshore is down in 4th spot, Team Australia is 5th, so this is a direct fight between them because they both had already their 2 long laps. And so we have Dubai Police in first position, New Star Racing with 1 long lap already done in 2nd spot, amazing, so far so good for them. Abu Dhabi 5, 3rd position, 222 offshore as we said in 4th, Team Australia in 5th, HPI Racing in 6th, is 1 long lap for them. Kuwait in 7th position, then Videx, then Fujairah 46, Abu Dhabi number 4, and XCAT Racing is in last position. Let me just check. Maybe we didn't see them retire because they probably had some problem on the other side of the circuit because we didn't see in the images, we cannot see them with our eyes live in front of us, but they are, they are in, yeah, absolutely, they did. I can confirm you, I got the confirmation that they,
Okay.
yeah.
Team Australia just gone past, looking extremely good, looking very comfortable.
This is the longest boat of them all. We know it's a little bit in excess of 10 meters, 10.07 I believe. And what does it mean for you? It depends on the conditions.
It does, yes. The boat length, etc., and size and weight, it does make a difference on the conditions. But today is a relatively calm day. It's a nice racing day. It's not too flat. You get a little bit of bump out there. The boat gets a bit of height, gets out of the water, takes a bit of control, etc. But it's a comfortable race. It's a good racing water at the moment.
What is funny about the championship, it's nice about the championship, is that you have some real expert pilots in offshore racing, like Arif Alzafain, Nadir Benindi, Giovanni Carpitella, Francois Pinelli, and I don't want
so
to
many, Sean Terente.
And also at the
Rashid.
same time, many experts in circuit racing. So
That's
it's
right.
like a combo of the two.
Yeah. And I think this probably is a combination of the two, because this is not like the big old days of history of offshore racing where people used to go off to sea and then you could go and have your lunch until they come back. It's not like that anymore. We're somewhere in the middle, I think, between the old circuit and offshore. So yeah, it's bringing guys together who probably never used to race together at all.
Yeah. Like yesterday, it was very flat at the beginning. I told I wouldn't ever call this race offshore racing. But at the same time, we're trying to have a combination. We had some races held with 2 meters of waves, big jumps, also big crashes, engines overheating, boats nose diving into the water. At the same time, there is some conditions when it's more flat, you have more action, like similar to circuit racing. So yeah, we hope the sport combines the best of the two.
Absolutely, and I think we're getting there. If you know, thinking back to kind of my days of racing, if you like, it was so much about the boat and keeping it together because you were off in big sea, a long way out, etc. And it was also a case of who kept their boat together and who kept it running. Here, this is really about racing. Of course, there's some boat work to be done and get it right, but it is down to the drivers. They're the guys who are making this work, and it's a very competitive field with a lot of very skilled guys.
And the shot now, while we see the first three, it's a new star still in third position, amazing. The shot now is for HPI Racing Italia, Racing Team, pardon, where HPI stands for High Performance Italia. It's boat number 96. It's François Pinelli from Corsica, from France, but from Corsica. He's very proud of that, of course. And beside him at the helm is Rosario Schiano from the Schiano family. They are the exclusive dealers for Italy for Mercury Racing. So they bring inside in a championship where their engines are, of course, Mercury Racing ROS 400. They bring all their experience in knowing the Mercury world, the Mercury engines, the Mercury parts. So it's a big step for them, for Rosario Schiano, which is one of the youngest drivers. He's 25, don't forget. And François Pinelli with them. At the moment they are in 7th spot. And they took already 2 long laps. I'd say at the moment everybody took both the long laps except New Star. That's why they are in 3rd spot now. They will have to take soon, let's say, because we are the 11th lap. It's going to be 16, so they have another 4 laps in order to decide and take their last long lap. When they will have taken it, they will be all at the same level and it will be direct fighting.
Absolutely, I hope they manage to get that in fairly quick and don't leave it too late.
We see number 46, Fujairah, with Diego Testa and Andrea Comello inside. We've seen this boat moving side by side, left and right. You were telling me, Rory, before quite an interesting thing, which I could never know with my eyes. Like this boat is probably one of the widest in terms of the
tunnel width.
The tunnel.
That's right, yeah.
What does it imply?
Well, it'll make it an extremely fast boat, especially down the straights, but it does mean it's a bit more of a handful in the turns. It does take a little bit more skill to get around those turns and maintain the speed. Yeah, it probably is one of the boats that's been rolled over more times than any of the others.
Okay, that explains. Okay, I get you. So, 11th lap for Dubai Police. We see on the screen now Abu Dhabi number 5. This is the MTI built boat. You see the shape of the sides on the deck in the bottom is typical for Randy Season design. Yeah. And this is beautiful for me, but just talking about delivery, beautiful Team Australia. You see that yellow spot is where they mended it. Not only they had to mend this, and you've seen in the clip of yesterday the small crash and the carbon fibers really visible. But they broke both the legs of the engines. They lost the gear cases in the sea. Yeah.
Both gearboxes were lost, so they've put together.
How is it possible? Like, I mean, if you have a direct crash from another boat on your legs, I can understand. But if it's not because they are underwater, it's just the impact on the water that crashes them.
No, I would think that they probably had a bit of impact from the other boat as well to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because they were not like cracked and then they dismantled them. They were really lost in the sea. They came back without them. So incredible, yeah. Luckily they had the spare parts. They've been working a lot, not only to mend the fiberglass, but also to repair the engines. And they were able to come back and to be competitive, because at the moment they are 4th. I'd say they are virtually 3rd, because New Star, which is in 2nd spot, still has to take 1 long lap.
Yeah, and they've come back from the very start. They had a bad start. They were way back on the start run. So they've done really well to make up that ground. They've been pretty consistent.
Well, they had to start from the last spot because they had the crash yesterday, so they had to retire. But at the very beginning, at the first buoy, they were already in front. Then they took the long lap immediately. So they said, okay, at the beginning of the race, we are in the back, and then we give everything, and little by little.
Well, that's let everybody spread out, and then they're racing in the clean water, because it's generally such a bad deal if you've got the last place and you've got everybody's wash. To get past every single boat, you're going to have their wash. So yeah, they made the right choice. Get that long lap done.
The sprays on your windshield, but also the wakes and the waves that remain from. Even if there is like the 2nd boat and you are the 10th, you will still have waves all around.
And when those wakes are all close together like that, and you're in it, the boat gets very unstable. It's a really unpleasant place to be.
So we see now Team Australia, it's Paul Birk Nielsen and Jan Trygve Bratten, both from Norway. The team owner and team manager, of course, is Brett Lurman from Australia. He's been racing until last year. Then he decided to step back, also because he had a big crash. He had an issue at the shoulder, but he was fit in order to be back in the cockpit. But he said, okay, it's time for me to step back. He was here, of course. He just left this morning because he had also his business to attend back in Australia, but he's still fully involved in the team. And but the comment inside the cockpit is from Norway. We spoke to both of them in the last days. They know each other. They've been knowing each other for a long time, but it's very little the time they spend together. So this, considering also what we were saying before about the feeling between the two, is already a very good result for them to be fourth and virtually in third. They have 22 seconds at the moment, 23. They are 23 seconds behind New Star. We will have to consider to reckon how much time you lose doing the long lap, and we will see probably when New Star gets back from their long lap, which still we don't know when it will be. They will be probably shoulder to shoulder. Meanwhile, these guys, Arif Al-Zafei and Nadir Bin-Indy, are comfortably in the first spot. They have 70 seconds of advantage on New Star. So virtually the second one to look for is Abu Dhabi number 5, and it's 35 seconds of gap. And this is a problem for number 10 to the 2 offshore, as we see HPI overtaking them much faster.
Yes, they've definitely lost some pace. There's obviously an issue going on the boat.
What can it be? Of course we can't tell, but maybe your expert eye can tell something as the images go on.
They maybe have some engine alarm problem, maybe an issue with a temperature or something like that going on in the boat.
It has happened already with these new engines, these 4-stroke Mercury Ross engines. They went into like protection mode when they overheat.
That's right. They had a couple of, because they were very new engines last year, they had some issues. And there's probably still a few teething issues going on for them, but they're a fantastic motor. They've really pulled the fleet together. They're so much more reliable than the old kit that people used to race. They know that they have longevity. Once you get them right, you can probably race the whole season on them without too much difficulty.
I agree with you. Of course, it's been a tough decision, a long decision. It took like 2 years to introduce, to test them, because we didn't want just to take and put on the boat and let's go. They had to test them on a test boat made by Victory Team. They had to try and understand if we needed longer hulls, the brackets, and so on and so forth. Of course, I can't hide that every time you introduce something new, there are people who say, no, it was better before. But why? Because you were used to what you had before, you knew all the details. When you are an early adopter, in this case, okay, all of them, but you have to understand the new thing that you are adopting. There will be space of improvement, but then you are going for the better, for sure.
But really, to put that in a nutshell, the engines they previously used, they had done their time in racing. They'd been around for many, many years.
I believe 1978 had been introduced.
As long as that, yes, absolutely. And they got so much power out of them. They were at the end of the line, really. And because they were getting so much power out of them, they'd done so much development work. They were really getting also a bit unreliable. So I used to race these as well, and we used to call them a hand grenade. Once you start the motor, the pin is pulled, and it was a question of time. You knew that the engine would go at some point. Now with these new Mercury motors, fantastic reliability. They're much, much stronger than the old motors. And they're 4-stroke, they're cleaner on emissions, they're definitely the way of the future.
This is a work that has been done, of course, together with UIM to go for cleaner engines, a cleaner championship. Because as you know, the UIM has always a focus on the environment. They have also an award for the environment, and they strongly supported us in introducing these engines. Meanwhile, I see that New Star has gone for the second long lap, so we still don't have the time because they have to cross the line, but they went for the second long lap. So in the end, the ranking should be like that one. We will not have any more twist because of the long laps. And seems to me, with my eyes, but we wait for the official timing, that in the other part of the circuit in front of us, we've seen Dubai Police followed by New Star Racing. So maybe that even after they took the second long lap, they are still second. That would be amazing for them.
That would be absolutely fantastic.
To follow
so
Abu Dhabi
close.
number 5 and Team Australia, and there is 4 seconds, only 4 seconds between the two of them. We will see if Team Australia will be able to catch, and we wait of course for the boats to pass the finish line for the 14th lap to tell you the gaps exactly, as Dubai Police is finishing the 13th and getting into the 14th lap now, and it's yeah, they pass now, and we will see. It seems to us that yeah, it's New Star Racing behind. Wow.
Well, that's fantastic. If they
Amazing.
maintain that, that's a fantastic result for those guys.
You will be the lucky charm for them. 14 seconds, can you imagine? They even gained 1 second on Dubai Police in this lap.
That's
Wow.
very impressive.
And then Abu Dhabi number 5 in 3rd place, passing now. They have another 16 seconds to New Star, and Team Australia trying to catch up on Abu Dhabi number 5 with just a few seconds on them. And do you think, Rory, that when, in this case Arif and Nadir, but in many cases it's the two of them, when you are leading the race and you have a comfortable advantage, of course the radio man tells you, you know that there are just 2 or 3 the laps remaining, you will pull down a bit?
When you're sitting in that tent as a team manager and you're asking the guys just to ease off a bit, it doesn't always work when they have the moment the green flag goes, they have these racing heads and they don't want to hear
So
slow
there's
down.
no way to tell them to slow down. Huh?
We try because you think, come on guys, you've got just
Yeah,
keep
just
safe,
keep
keep safe.
95% rather than 105.
But sometimes these guys, they have a racing head when that green flag has gone, and it's very difficult to get them to ease off.
Which is understandable, because when your profession or your big passion is racing, you say,
Absolutely.
why? I'm into racing now, why should I pull back? Yeah. So, the ranking, yeah, Dubai Police, New Star, Abu Dhabi number 5, Team Australia, Kuwait, very good 5th spot for them, HPI Racing Team, very good also for them. It's a pity for 222 Offshore, we see them racing, they have a problem, yeah, probably it's the rev limiter, like the engines are overheating because they are going slow, they are in 7th now. Then Fujairah, then Videx, quite a bad result for the 2 Italian boats owned by, let's say, managed by Alfredo Amato, both of them, Fujairah number 46 and Videx number 22. And then of course Abu Dhabi 4 is out and XCAT Racing is out. We see the main point to me is Team Australia trailing Abu Dhabi by just 6 seconds. There is 2 laps to go, so they have to give everything they have. Is it possible to find 6 seconds in 2 laps?
I think it's possible. These guys, we know that boat is ever so quick. We again, last year that was a front-running boat. So I expect they will keep pushing until they get to that line. They will try their hardest to catch up. And they've done a fantastic job.
On the screen, if I'm not wrong, you see them on the screen. Yes, this is Abu Dhabi 5. The other one that was on the left part of the screen was Team Australia. You will see probably them exactly.
Whoa, yes.
Amazing.
They're
really
go.
wow.
Fantastic.
Now the acceleration and especially the top speed, I think Team Australia has a little advantage. But it's been amazing. They were able to get that 6 seconds in less than 1 lap. And look, they passed the finish line now.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Fantastic.
a fantastic attitude to the racing. They have just
0.7 of a second in front and of course increasing now, but wow, that was massive. 6 seconds in half a lap. Fantastic job for Paul Virik Nielsen and Jan Trevik Vebraten. Of course their boat is very fast, as we were saying, and I can also say that Rashid Al-Tayer, Majid Al-Mansouri on their new boat, probably they don't have the full feeling of the gear. They know each other very well, but
absolutely.
It's a new boat.
I'd agree with that. They're still giving that boat a shakedown, really, getting it right. So I suspect they'll still be happy with the result that they're getting at the moment with the Abu Dhabi boat.
Yeah. We see the 2 people with the orange t-shirt. No, actually it's just the one on the right. It's from XCAT Racing. He's just a spectator. Then you see behind him another 2 people. And the team manager is the young lady you see with the glasses. Did you know, Rory, that now she's the youngest, the first woman ever being team manager and the youngest ever being 22.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, she's been nominated
fantastic.
team manager. She's an offshore racer. She's a dancer as well.
Wow.
And she has guts. Let me say that on screen, on TV. She has guts, and Yeah, it's the first time. It's a pity for them to be out of this race, but I'm sure they will do great things. They are really well-structured team. While on the screen is this amazing boat Team Australia, amazing because they had a fantastic overtake over Abu Dhabi number 5. They started in 11th and last position, and they are third now. 28 seconds to the first, so they won't catch them.
Yeah,
but
I think also you have to say congratulations to the team who have worked get
absolutely.
that boat going.
Yeah.
You know, it was in a serious mess. They've done a hell of a lot of work. They've probably been up all night working on the boat. And what a fantastic job to see it finishing
for
here.
this whole lot of reasons, I would say the drivers of the day. I mean, they had a crash yesterday. They've been working all night. They started the race in last position with a manned boat with 2 new gear cases, and they are on the podium now. They won't catch a new. Well, also this is the last lap. It's Riccardo Lacognata, the guy that was with us before from the President's Office of UIM. He's head of the President Raffaele Chiulli office, and he's on the pace cut giving the white flag, so it's last lap for everybody. I was saying drivers of the day, Team Australia, but what about New Star as well?
Absolutely, I think New Star is just a fantastic result. I am so pleased to see these guys on the podium after all the work they put in. And
not only their best position, but their very first podium. Okay, crossing the fingers because they still have 1 lap to go, but you never know in motorboating, power boating.
Yes, absolutely. It's never done till you get that checkered flag. I've seen I've been winning a race before and seen the finish line in sight, but broken something.
No
it's
way.
a horrible thought. It's maybe a couple of 100 meters away and your boat's finished. Nothing.
How
you
does
can
it
do.
work psychologically with the drivers? You have to give them back the confidence, or they just switch their mind off and
I think
tomorrow is another day?
Tomorrow's another day. And
Okay,
you're back
okay.
on. Yeah.
That's a really professional approach.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think pretty much everybody racing here is top of their game. They've all done a lot of racing elsewhere. They know what they're in for. They know how it works. Their head's in the right place.
And this is the last lap, white flag, pardon me, also for Kuwait, Abdulatif Alomani and Mustafa Al-Dashti, of course, both from Kuwait. As we see the last lap run by Dubai police team, Arif Al-Zafei, Nadir Benindi, a fantastic race. Yesterday I told them it was a comfortable victory, and Nadir said, no, it's never comfortable when you are in the cockpit because, as you said, they are always pushing to the limit, maybe even beyond the limit, so probably the stress for their mind and their body is the same.
I can tell you there's no comfort in these boats in this heat. We're out, in the climate here is, we're in probably the mid-30s out there.
Yeah.
Inside those boats, it's incredibly hot. And you're in fireproof overalls. You're extremely hyper because you're racing at over 100 miles an hour. You know, you're desperate to win. You're pushing everything. Yeah. It's incredibly hot. The amount
Nadir
of water
told me that he probably lost 3 kilos in one race in 45
and they do,
minutes.
and that's probably true. It's incredibly hot. So it's never an easy race.
2-2 offshore to take the white flag now. Disappointing for them. They are in 7th spot after being 2nd. But this is the last straight for boat number 3. These Dubai police, smart, secure together. And together for sure they are, Arif Al-Zafei, Nadir Benindi and all their team in celebrating this amazing victory.
Fantastic.
2nd race in a row that they win here in Fujairah. 2 out of 2. It's like pole position, race 1 and race 2, amazing, fantastic. You feel a little happy also for yourself?
Absolutely happy. I think they've underlined they're here with their new design of boat, their new build finish.
And fantastic, there is Team Australia in 2nd position.
That's a fantastic achievement from the back.
Let me check. There's probably been an issue with New Star Racing because they lost so much ground. Anyway, beautiful for them as well. Their best position in their 2nd season of racing. The first podium, we will be so happy to see Mikhail Kitashev and Dmitry Vandyshev on the 3rd step of the podium. But at this point, with Team Australia being 2nd, while Abu Dhabi 5 is 4th, I would say drivers of the day, Team Australia, Paul and Jan.
Absolutely, to come from the back of the field, despondent, upset, broken boat, lots of damage, up all night. Fantastic achievement for those guys.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
So you see, even if it's the same old story on the top spot with Arif Al-Zafei, Nadir Benindi winning, there's been a lot of twists in this race as we wait for all the others passing the finish line. Fifth position for Kuwait is a very good spot for Abdulatif Alomani and his buddy Mustafa Al-Dashti.
What nice guys they are in the Q8 boat.
Absolutely.
Abdulatif,
You know what, in the last
fantastic
days,
guy.
we had a short interview with Abdulatif and when we published it on the social networks, I just wrote a note. He's been here for a long time and he's been one of the nicest. You can't imagine how many comments saying, yes, I've been working with him, I've been racing with him. He's
just a fantastic guy.
Yeah.
So helpful, will help anybody.
And both number 96 HPI racing team with François Pinelli and Antonio Schiano closes in 6th. A very good performance for them. Let's not forget that Rosario Schiano is just 25. It's his first full race in offshore. Yesterday night after the first race here in Fujairah, he said, yeah, I feel a bit, I am fit, but I feel a bit like, you know, bruises and pain all around. And still today, 6th spot. Okay, we had boats with problems, but I mean, if boats have problems, it means the other ones have done a better job. And so this is now boat number 46 crossing the line. And there is, on the other side of, pardon me, Rory, you were pointing at me, it's Videx stopping, so it's Fujairah in 7th spot and 222 offshore disappoint in 8th spot, while Videx cannot end the race. They have stopped on the other side of the course. Of course, they will get the points because they finished the 70% rule. There is a rule that if you do at least 70% of the calculated distance, you will get the points even if you retire. So they will finish in 9th place and they will get points, Videx, Alfredo Mato and Joachim Kumlin, pardon me. So, amazing race.
Absolutely incredible
Lot
race.
of twists.
Fantastic achievement for particularly the Australian team and for the Russians. Fantastic display. And looking at the screen there, you can see the guys all out of their boats immediately and consuming some fluids.
Yeah, and they're wiping their faces because they are
absolutely.
so sweat. Look,
It'll be such a relief to be out of the boats after the race, but fantastic job by all the guys.
And they get the checker flag from Pasquale Cesana to have a short celebration, and then they will all go back to the podium. We are eager to go to the podium as well. You, for many reasons. One of them is that your guys are on top spot. Me also because I want to have a clear view of like Team Australia and the first podium, as we said, for Misha Kitashev and Dima Vandishev on the Russian team. So I think we are able to send some headlights of this race, so stay tuned because right after the goodbye you will see all the best moments. Thank you very much, Rory. I hope to see you again.
I hope so. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Great to watch from here. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks to all our supporters, all our viewers. Keep on following us on all the social networks. And now space to the headlights, and then we will have later tonight a daily recap. Thank you so much.
تاخرنا شوي هنا وحاولنا نلحق. الحمد لله اعتقد خلصنا من المركز الرابع اعتقد، واحب ابارك حق اللي فازوا بالمراكز الثلاث الاولى، وان شاء الله يوفقهم. بالنسبه حق التنظيم هذا شيء لا يخفى على الجميع. التنظيم اللي وصلت له دوله الامارات العربيه خاصه بهالرياضه او جميع الرياضات، ما في احد يقدر ينظم نفس التنظيم ونفس المستوى ونفس الاعدادات هذه كلها من جميع النواحي. وبعدين هم الجماعه هنا يحاولون يعني يوفرون حق المتسابقين او اللي مع المتسابقين كل الاشياء اللي هم يحتاجونها. فكثر الله خيركم ومشكورين وما قصرتوا على هذه الاستضافه الجميله، وان شاء الله نشوفكم بالاستضافه الجايه في نهايه الموسم ان شاء الله.
يعطيك العافيه ونتمنى لكم التوفيق يعني مجددا ان شاء الله، ونشوفكم في بطولات عالميه اخرى
ان شاء الله. الله يسمع منك ان شاء الله، والله يفوزكم.
إذا مشاهدينا طبعا مثل ما نشوف هذه اللحظات الجميلة من استقبال يعني قائدين يعني الزوارق السريعة من هذا الجو المثير في سماء إمارة الفجيرة عروس الساحل الشرقي.
لأنه اليوم صراحة وفق الرجال ونشكره ونقول له الله يوفق السباقات الجاية.
كابتن نادر، النتيجة كانت متوقعة عن الجميع.
نعم، أول شيء هدي الفوز حق الشيخ سيف بن زايد، شرطة دبي، ضاحي خلفان، شعب الإمارات. طبعا أبغى أصلح شيء من نقول اليوم اللي قالت إن الإكس كات جودة ضعيفة. هذا الشيء مو صحيح. جودة إكس كات أول شيء لما نقول إن أسس الإكس كات من الشيخ سمو الشيخ حمدان بن محمد، هو أسس الإكس كات، والإكس كات من أقوى الجولات السباقات البحرية. فهذا الشيء مثل ما تشوفين كل الفرق تناطح على المركز الأول، في تقريبا 7 أو 8 سباقات هالسنة مثل ما قالوا في التلفزيون اليوم بس جولتين، هذا غير صحيح. في 8 جولات في الإكس كات، النرويج وايطاليا والصين وكل هالاماكن، دبي ان شاء الله ابو ظبي وفجيره ان شاء الله. فهالشيء
ان شاء الله وراح نشوفكم في هاي الجولات ان شاء الله وفي المركز الاول باذن الله. شكرا. عوده اليك احمد، على امل ان نلقى لقاءات اخرى ان شاء الله.
شكرا ايمان. طبعا مشاهدينا الكرام استمعنا بان هذه البطوله صالح بطوله قويه.
نعم قويه، بطوله ما تقل عن مستوى بطولات العالم في السباقات البحريه. بطولة جدا قوية، فيها تقريبا فرق قوية، فيها منافسين أقوياء. اليوم ما في حد يعني تقول عنده بيتم ماسك المركز الأول. في تبدل في النتائج، في تبدل في كل سباق، يعني كل سباق تشوف لك شيء جديد، كل سباق تشوف لك فريق جديد. اليوم أمس مثلا الفريق الكويتي ما شاء الله عليه أدى أداء حلو، دخل المركز الثالث، لكن صادف بعض الأعطال اللي خلته ترجع. أنا نتأمل يعني السباقات الجاية نشوف فريق الكويتي قدام. اليوم الفريق الروسي ما كان متوقع انه يكون شيء، يعني السنين القبليه ما يبغى ركز فيها. اليوم ماخذ المركز الثالث، امس ماخذ المركز السادس السابع. شيء جميل يعني.
صالح، اذا بنتكلم عن هذه البطوله، اذا كانت بطوله قويه وايضا الفريق الكويتي وانتم ايضا فريقكم يعني في تعطلات، هل التو ستروك ولا الفور ستروك احسن؟ لان ايضا في اعطال.
الفور ستروك انا اشوفها افضل. ليش افضل؟ اول شيء محافظه للبيئه، ثاني شيء الفور ستروك زينه ما فيها هي اعطال، لكن هذا صادف ان الموجه عندك عاليه. اليوم انا يمكن تقريبا طيران الزورق خيالي كان.
نعم.
يعني كل الناس كانوا يشوفون يقولون طيران كبير، فضرب على الجنب ضربت الماكينه وانكسر. فهذا شيء وارد يعني في السباقات عادي، ومش دائما يصير يعني.
صحيح.
يعني انا السنه اللي قبلها واللي قبلها يعني مثلا سنتين قبل او 3 سنوات وانا شارك فيه الحمد لله ما صادفت ولا عطل. اول مره صادف في السباق عطل. فهذا شيء وارد يعني موجود يعني. شباب ربعنا من فريق شرطة دبي قبل السباق تقريبا نص ساعة صادفهم عطل، ساعدنا معاهم ما قصرنا، هم يستاهلون من الامارات، بالعكس فريق واحد اخوان، بنتعاون في كل صغير وكبير. وتلاقي مقطع رمز، تلاقي يعني كل الفرق نفس الاخوان. اي حد يحتاج شيء تلاقيه يعاون عليه.
هذا اللي نشوفه بالراس. يعطيك العافيه، كل التوفيق لكم ان شاء الله في القادم من الجولات. صالح المنصوري من فريق ابو ظبي، شكرا جزيلا لك. مشاهدينا الكرام اذهب الى زميلتي ايضا ايمان هناك واللقاءات. تفضل.
والان معنا الحاصل على المركز الثاني سائق الزورق الاسترالي بول. Congratulations Paul.
Thank you very much. It was very hard, but because we start from the very back, then we have to fight our way up. and we had a good strategy with the long laps. We took them quite early, and then took every lap once at a time, and just push as hard as you could every lap, and then we catch up one by one, and now we're second, so it's just fantastic.
Yesterday you have problem in the boat, no?
Yeah, yesterday we crashed big time with the other Australian team. So all the mechanics had worked last night and prepared the boat, and they have done a fantastic job. And JT did a fantastic job on the wheel, and it's almost perfect. We have to step more to the first, then it's perfect. But today this is a victory for us.
Congratulations again and good luck for another race. Thank you. أحمد، نشير فقط تعقيبا على كلام بول، هو السائق الذي تعرض أمس إلى الانقلاب والعطل في المحرك، واليوم رأى أن الجو كان جد مناسب، والدليل على أنهم تحصلوا على المركز الثاني. عودة إليك أحمد.
نعم إيمان، شكرا جزيلا لك. أكيد كان أيضا يثني على يعني عند الفنيين والصيانة من أجل أنهم تسارعوا في إصلاح القارب وتجهيزه لسباق اليوم وحصوله على المركز الثاني. هذه يمكن الأشياء اللي نتابعها من خلال سباقات الإكسكات وأيضا السباقات البحرية، وخصوصا نحن نتكلم عن هذه الجولة وهي الجولة جائزة الكبرى الفجيرة 2018. هذه البطولة اللي إن شاء الله راح تكون الوجهة القادمة إلى إيطاليا ستريزا، وأيضا هناك ستكون الجولة الثالثة في الصين، ونتمنى الجولات متواصلة لا تتوقف حتى تستمر هذه الرياضة وتستمر أيضا هذه المنافسات. أيضا نتابع معكم الأجواء قبل الدخول إلى منصة التتويج والوقوف على منصة التتويج من أجل التتويج النهائي مشاهدينا الكرام للجولة الأولى لبطولة الإكسكات، مونديال الإكسكات هنا في الفجيرة. أذهب للزميلة إيمان أيضا واللقاء، تفضل.
والآن أحمد إلى المركز الثالث ومع الزورق الروسي الحاصل على المركز الثالث في أول مشاركة له في هذه البطولة. Congratulations.
Thank you.
This is first time in this race.
First podium in our races in XCAT.
How it was the race?
It was not simple. It's very hard because too much turn, and we. Ну, нам было тяжело.
This race course was difficult for them and they need to practice. So hopefully this practice brought its result.
How do you see the weather?
В целом была хорошая, но была волна все-таки в одном месте. Тяжеловато было.
Generally the weather was good, but at one place it was very hard wave, so it was really nervous.
Thank you and welcome in Dubai. Thank you. أحمد، عودة إليك، ونذكر أنه هذا كان الزورق الروسي الحاصل على المركز الثالث في أول مشاركة له في بطولة العالم للزوارق السريعة الإكسكات، ونوه إلى أنه كانت منافسة قوية لكنهم كانوا قد المنافسة، وأن الجو اليوم كان مساعد على الحصول على المركز الثالث. عودة إليك أحمد.
نعم، شكرا إيمان. أكيد راح يكون الجو مساعد لأنه يعني أخذ زمام الأمور وحصل على المركز الثالث، ولكن بعض المتسابقين قبل الدخول يمكن الرطوبة وأيضا الحرارة الكبيرة تؤثر عليهم داخل الكابينة في الزورق، ولكن الحمد لله يعني بكل سبل هي التكيف في الكابينة، المقاومة في هذا الطراد من خلال أو الزورق من خلال أيضا تصنيع المتميز من قبل يعني مؤسسة الفكتوري تيم. وهنا الأحاديث وأيضا يعني بعد الانتصار هذا عارف الزفين وابتسامة الانتصار وأيضا الوقوف أحمد العيالي أيضا من الفنيين المتميزين المتواجدين في هذا الفريق، فريق شرطة دبي، مع أيضا البطل العالمي نادر بن هندي المتواجد، وراجيش المدير يعني الفني لهذا الفريق، وسعيد الدامة أيضا الميري يتواجد مع هذا الفريق. الكل يتواجدون. سعيد ايضا من الابطال المتواجدين سواء في الخشبيه ولا في حتى كان عنده يعني في زوارق الاكس كات ايضا بيتواجد كلهم ابطال متواجدين. كل واحد يكسب الخبره من الثاني، يكسب المعلومه من الثاني، يكتسب ايضا الصداقه في هذه البطوله، ليست فقط من اجل المنافسه والصعود على منصه التتويج، لا هني اجواء كبيره تدخل بين المتسابقين والمشاركين. هني تحصلهم بعض الاحيان ياسين ما بينهم ضحك وود، وحتى الجلوس على الاكل والسوالف. تحصل هذا استرالي وهذا امريكي وهذاك صيني وهذا اماراتي وهذاك كويتي، كلهم يجلسون في نفس المكان ويتكلمون وعندهم الاشياء الجميله. وهذا الان ملخص السباق مشاهدينا الكرام، والانطلاقه القويه اللي كانت في هذا السباق منذ البدايه. تابعنا وياكم هنا، نتابع ايضا شرطه دبي 3 بقيادة عارف السكين ونادر بن هندي اللي استطاعا الدخول في هذا السباق والوصول أيضا إلى المركز الأول في النهاية. وأيضا يمكن تابعنا ملامح السباق والتبادل بين المتسابقين الآخرين في المراكز بين الأسترالي وبين أبو ظبي. كان هناك أيضا تنافس راشد الطاير، ولكن استطاع في النهاية زورق الأسترالي من التفوق في اللفتين الأخيرات والوصول إلى المركز الثاني. الفريق الروسي الذي يدخل في هذه المنافسة الآن يعني حصل على المركز الثالث، أكيد راح يعطيه ادفانتج، راح يعطيه أيضا يعني الثقة الكبرى من أجل دخول المنافسات الأخرى ويعمل شيء في هذه البطولة. نفس ما قال صالح المنصوري، دخول المتسابقين، مختلف المتسابقين في هذه البطولة، يمكن ما تحصل كل يوم أو كل بطولة نفس الأسماء. في التغيرات يعطيك هذا الانطباع على قوة المنافسة وأيضا الاستعداد الجيد للمتسابقين. والحظوظ طبعا، الحظ هو الشيء الأكبر اللي راح يعني يتماشى مع المتسابقين، خصوصا اذا يفوز ويكون الحظ موجود معاه راح يكمل، او يكون الحظ عاثر مثل ماريتيمو اللي انقلب اضطرت عمل حادث وانقلب اضطرت وخرج من المنافسه من الجوله الاولى. ولكن هنا في السباق الثاني ايضا تابعنا فالح المنصوري يعني ضغط على المحركات، استطاع أن يتنافس واستطاع أن يشعل هذه المنافسة، ولكن يعني حصل عطل في المكينة على اليمين في صعود الطراد، وانضرب ضربة المكينة تحت يمكن في البحر، لأن سرعة الطراد أيضا يعطيك هذا البحر تشوفه تقول ماي، ولكن على السرعة الكبيرة وضرب كأنك ضارب على شيء قاسية، أرضية قاسية، لذلك تعطلت الماكينة اللي على اليمين، لذلك خرج من السباق. والآن هذه يعني نتابع معاكم أيضا مجريات السباق، سباق اليوم والنهاية الأجمل من قبل ممثل الإمارات فريق شرطة دبي بقيادة عارف السكين ونادر بن هندي. هذا الزورق الجديد الذي يصل لأول مرة في هذه المنافسات ويستطيع أن يحرز هذه البطولة، مثل ما قال الزميل أيضا عبد الله سويدان بأن يعني هذه البطولة هي بمثابة صناعة التاريخ قيادة شرطة دبي بدخولها في هذا الفريق، وأيضا الوصول إلى المركز الأول في أقل زمن في السباق والسباق الأول والجولة الثانية، أيضا السباق الثاني. شيء جميل، الشكر كل الشكر موصول هنا مشاهدينا الكرام لسمو الشيخ محمد بن محمد الشرقي ولي عهد فجيرة على رعايته لهذه البطولة ورعايته لهذه المنافسات، وأيضا الشكر الكبير لسمو الشيخ سيف بن حمد بن سيف الشرقي رئيس نادي الفجيرة الدولي للرياضات البحرية، اللي أيضا يعني النادي هذا تبنى هذه البطولة وتبنى المشاركين في الجولة الأولى في انطلاقة مونديال الإكسكات، وهي النسخة الأولى أو خلينا نقول الجولة الأولى في سنة 2018 عام زايد الخير. وهنا يأتي الخير لأبناء الإمارات من خلال المركز الأول. وأيضا مشاهدينا الكرام يعني الشكر الكبير نائب سعادة محمد سعيد البرهاني نائب رئيس نادي الفجيرة الدولي للرياضات البحرية، وأيضا السيد أحمد إبراهيم نائب رئيس اتحاد الإمارات للرياضات البحرية والمدير التنفيذي للنادي البحري هنا في الفجيرة، على تذليل المصاعب وتذليل الأمور للمشاركين، وأيضا بالنسبة لقناة دبي الرياضية وجميع من ساهم هنا من إعلاميين لنقل هذا الحدث ولنقل مجريات هذا الحدث ونقل هذه الصورة عبر قناة دبي الرياضية، وأيضا علم النهاية العالم الشطرنجي الذي يحمل أبطال الإمارات أبطال شرطة دبي والطواف بالعلم تأكيدا على جدارتهم وتأكيدا على وصولهم في المركز الأول.
والتحضر لمراسم تتويج الفائزين.
الآن أيضا نتابع معاكم وصول سمو الشيخ محمد بن حمد الشرقي ولي عهد إمارة الفجيرة لتتويج الفائزين. دائما مشكورا طويل العمر وتواجد في اليوم الأول وتواجد أيضا في القرية عفوا تواجد اليوم في اليوم الثاني أيضا لتتويج المشاركين. أيضا هناك يتواجد معهم أيضا أنقل الكلام الآن هناك إلى المذيع الداخلي.
استضافت عروس الساحل الشرقي منافسات الجولة الأولى من بطولة العالم لسباق الزوارق السريعة الإكسكات بمشاركة 12 زورقا من
تكريم الفائزين بالمراكز المتقدمة من سباق بطولة العالم لسباقات الزوارق السريعة فئة الإكسكات التي شهدناها يعني مجرياتها طبعا كاملة وتغطيتنا لهذا الحدث العالمي والدولي المهم في إمارة الفجيرة الباسمة.
بنجاح منقطع النظير في احتضان إمارة الفجيرة لبطولة.
نشهد وإياكم أعزائي المشاهدين طبعا إجراءات التحضر لمراسم التتويج، تتويج الفائزين في بطولة العالم لسباقات الزوارق السريعة فئة الإكسكات.
ختام جولة الفجيرة لبطولة العالم للزوارق السريعة. Under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Hamad Al Sharqi Crown Prince of Fujairah, the East Coast Pride hosted the first round of the UIM XCAT World Championship Powerboat Race first round during 11th to 13th April 2018. Your Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Hamad Al Sharqi, it is a great honor for us at the Fujairah International Marine Club to congratulate you for the great success hosting of this event. Thank you for your kind patronage and support. فليتفضل سمو الشيخ محمد بن حمد الشرقي ولي العهد لتكريم الفرق الفائزة في جولة الفجيرة.
First, we would like to call the winners. We're starting with the third place. The boat number 9, New Star, Dmitry and Mikhail from Russia. في المركز الثالث الفريق نيو ستار الزورق التاسع 9 رقم 9 من روسيا. And on the second place, team of Australia, Jan Breton and Paul Vrinselen. And we would like also to give a more round of applause to boat number 8. Yesterday they had an accident, and again they were able to go to the Champion League. Well done, good job. أما في المركز الأول شرطة دبي الزورق رقم 3 UAE عارف الزفين نادر بن هندي. And also we'd like to call this team manager also Mr. Rajesh to the podium. وجائزة أفضل مدير فريق راجيش. والآن فليتفضل سمو الشيخ محمد بن حمد الشرقي ولي عهد الفجيرة لتكريم الفرق الفائزة في جولة الفجيرة. هدية تذكارية راعي الحفل فليتفضل الشيخ سيف بن حمد بن سيف الشرقي بتقديم الهدية التذكارية. والآن مع السلام الوطني لدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة with UAE anthem.
الأولى لمونديال الإكس كات والجولة الأولى